Lancia. A brand famous for its style, class and technical evolution. A past full of glory and successes. A famous brand thanks to models that have made the history of cars and racing. A firm today relegated to the role of a factory of snobbish and politically correct small cars. The purpose of this video is not to seek causes and perpetrators in the Italian political will, in the desires of international finance, in the manifest managerial inability of some managers of the group. The aim is to introduce 10 models that would have outlined a different epilogue for the Lancia. Models arrived one step away from production and cancelled due to deliberate company choices, outlining the fate that the group itself, or whoever it was for, had decided for the Cavasso brand, a coveted jewel that it has not been able or wanted to enhance. In 1976, arrives the new flagship Lancia, the Gamma. To a refined, but delicate mechanicals, is paired with a bewildering design. A fastback body, full of stylistic forcing and Baroque details. It will be a failure. Definitely more successful is the coupe version, masterfully designed by Aldo Brovero, and considered one of the most beautiful cars of the 1970s. 1980, Pininfarina creates the Gamma Scala, a four-door sedan based on the design of the Gamma Coupe it produced. More balanced and elegant than the production sedan, it had all the credentials to boost the model's sales. Remained a unique model to be exhibited at the motor show. After the half-known Gamma shooting brake, a beautiful wagon variant of the coupe. At the 1982 Paris Motor Show, Pininfarina showed an original station wagon called Olgiata. It has a very elegant and modern design characterized by enveloping burnished crystals, a particular rear wing, more aerodynamic front, successful color combinations and highly sought-after materials. The public response is favorable, but it remains a unique example. In 1988, the Delta HF Integrale is in its second World Rally title. It boasts cutting-edge mechanicals and exceptional performance. On this basis, Pininfarina builds a beautiful coupe, with a smooth and innovative design. The formal balance is perfect, the harmony of the body is emphasized by studied color combinations and aimed at excellent aerodynamics. The interiors also show a successful design for details and materials. The frame is made with an innovative material called Nomex, while the body is made of fiberglass and plastic. Thanks to the particular construction, the HIT reduces the 1,215 kilograms of the production Delta HF Integrale to just 980 kilograms, taking performance and road holding to absolute levels. Commercial success was certain, but it remained a museum piece. Thema 832, better known as Thema Ferrari, is the demonstration of the recognized supremacy of Italian inventiveness. A refined and exclusive car that combined two emblematic brands and lots of content under the same body. A car that had a limit, front-wheel drive, combined with a decidedly powerful engine, which decreed a nervous character, in the case of sporty driving. At the end of the 1980s, Lancia was developing a much more refined and advanced version, the Thema 832, four-wheels drive. The car was equipped with an engine with a displacement increased to 3,200 cc and increased power by about 30 horsepower compared to the 215 of the version in production. In those years, in terms of all-wheel drive, Lancia was second to none. Such a sports sedan would have been unique in terms of technical content and equipment. Inexplicably, she was blocked a few months before she was born. In 1992, the English IAD presents a beautiful coupe based on Lancia Dedra Integrale. Characterized by a refined, aggressive and elegant design, it is a prototype that uses all the most advanced technologies of the period. For optimal definition, the design The interior materials and the refined mechanicals are typical of the Lancia tradition. All this leads to the creation of an exclusive car, a niche product, ready for production. But even the Magia will not have followed. The Delta 836 did not have the success that Lancia hoped for. The difficult task of replacing a successful model like the classic Delta. Unforgivable is the absence of a four-wheel drive HF version, the heir to the legendary Delta Integrale version that was in the plans of the house, and in an advanced stage of development, and that would have driven the sales of the model. A car to be deployed in the World Rally Championship, but in Fiat, with a wicked choice, it was decided to definitively close the doors of the Lancia racing team, and divert men and funds to the Alfa Romeo Sports program, in the Touring Championships. Consequently, the production version was also cancelled. And it was another missed opportunity. In 1994, at the presentation of the Kappa, the public reaction was not enthusiastic. Despite undeniable qualities and careful construction, it did not have the necessary appeal for the worthy heir of the Thema. The Kappa wasn't bad, and the passage of time is doing it justice, but some choices in defining the final design were not adequate for the class of the car. Sales did not take off, also burdened by some avoidable congenital defects of the first specimens. It was remedied, with some improvements, and with new variants, the station wagon and coupe versions. Following their philosophy of minimum expense, maximum yield, Fiat shortened the Kappa sedan to create a squat and not very slender coupe, even if unquestionably original. It had undeniable qualities, including superlative road holding and handling. But it remained a car with a poor design. And it was not successful. Certainly history would have gone differently if Fiat had accepted Bertone's project. Called Kayak, it was presented at the Turin show in 1995. The refined and highly original design showed the typical dictates of Bertone's styling, and wanted to repropose the characteristics of class and design that made the Lancia coupe of the past famous. Kayak design was a great success. In this regard, an anecdote circulates that has never been denied. It seems that, during a visit to the stands of the Turin show, Gianni Agnelli, after stopping to admire the Kayak, turned to the Fiat managers who accompanied him, expressing admiration, thinking that it was the new Lancia Kappa Coupe. But one of his companions, after pointing to the blue Kappa Coupe, exhibited at the Lancia stand, said, "That's ours." Agnelli's expression of disappointment was emblematic. And the Kayak is a big regret. The 1995 Ypsilon is a model with a very original design and a resounding sales success. The initial range lacked an expressly sporty version. Lancia is thinking of a version emblazoned with the HF brand, which had to exploit the mechanicals of the fastest of the Fiat Punto, the GT Turbo, or that of the Fiat Barchetta. Either way, it would have been an interesting model. But the only sporty version of the Ypsilon remains the successful and underrated Elefantino Rosso 16 valves, but it is not the same thing, even if it remains the last openly sporty model of Lancia. Barcelona Motor Show 2003. The Lancia Style Center presents the Granturismo Stilnovo. Proposal for a compact sports sedan, based on the Fiat Stilo platform. Innovative design, with many elements of the Lancia tradition. Refined plays of light and volumes, outline an original and balanced whole, from which details emerge, that will characterize the few Lancia creations of the years to come. From its forms, the new Delta of 2008 will be born, but this pleasant compact will remain a prototype. In 2003, the Lancia Style Center, led by Flavio Manzoni, presents the Fulvia Concept, a pleasant coupe, that recalls the unforgettable Fulvia Concept of 1965 in its design. Made of aluminum, and based on the platform and on the mechanicals of the Fiat Barchetta, this prototype is actually a perfectly functional car, and defined in every aspect. A car that can be put into production quickly, and with limited investments. All the external and internal details are a tribute to the mythical Fulvia. The welcome is incredibly warm, and it certainly looks like its launch on the market. But, as was too often the case, she too was killed before she was born, and remains the launch's biggest regret. In the last 40 years,